What's up, poker players? Hope you guys are out there crushing it on the tables. We are currently in a down streak, but today we're going to take a look at one of two winning sessions that we had during this down streak. Almost 4,000 hands, up $380 at a win rate of 10.8 big blinds per 100 hands. Let's jump right into the action. First hand we're going to take a look at is at the 200 NL table. We have Ace King playing from the small blind. Under the gun just limps. Gamble rent money isolates from the hijack suit, and we put in a 3-bet, make it $23 to go. Under the gun gets out of the way. Gamble rent money makes a call. Gamble rent money seems to be recreational so far, only 286 hands. High 3-bet percentage, high VPIP, has pretty solid numbers post flop though, and makes a call of our 3-bet. Flop is ace high, two-tone, two hearts out there. We have the backdoor nut flush draw, as well as top pair, top kicker. I elect to just check on this very solid board for us, giving our opponent the opportunity to put in a continuation bet, which we are almost always ahead of at this point. They bet $18. We can easily make a call here. Don't really want to put in a raise quite yet. Ace comes on the turn. Now we are really only losing to pocket threes and pocket sixes, but would those type of hands be calling a 3-bet pre-flop? Maybe, maybe not, depending on the type of player. We might see calls from those a little bit more from recreational players, which is the type of player we might be up against. I check again on the turn, and once again we get a bet, $38 to go. They are either trying to represent an ace here, or they have an ace, and every ace that is out there we're ahead of, unless they're playing an ace 6 or ace 3, which I highly doubt would be in their 3-bet call range. Those are the type of hands, if you were going to play, you're probably going to be putting in a 4-bet, maybe a 4-bet jam pre-flop. It would be a very tricky play, so I elect to get all the money in here. If there is a flush draw out there, I want to charge the maximum amount for them to chase their flush, or possible straight draws if they're playing something like 5-4 suited. That's really about it for the straight draws that I can see here. So I jam all in, making it 124 for them to call into a pot of 286, denying equity for those draws that could be out there, as well as them drawing out to a lower ace than us. But we do get a fold and we take down this pot on the turn. Now we are at the 100 NL table. We have Ace King playing from middle position. Under the gun opens to $5 5x. Under the gun is a recreational player, only 26 hands on this player. We put in a 3-bet, make it 16 to go, and under the gun makes a call. There's already $33.50 in the pot. Goldwitz only has 68.47 left in their stack, slightly more than 2-to-1 stack to pot ratio. They check back the flop. We have top pair, top kicker once again, and also the backdoor nut flush draw, as well as backdoor Broadway straight draws. Flop goes check, check. We elect to slow play our top pair, top kicker. The 4 is a pretty much complete brick on the turn, and Goldwitz leads out for 21-22, 2/3 pot. A big bet, but I could see this being made by a lot of the straight draws, a lot of the flush draws, or a lot of the aces out there. And the river is a 6, another complete brick, and our opponent jams. With our turn call, we pot committed ourselves, and we can't get rid of our hand right here. The only hand we're really losing to would be something like pocket 9s or ace queen in this spot, only making up a small portion of this recreational player's range with a 38% VPIP. Recreational players are going to be making this play a lot with their missed draws, or possibly just having the ace in this spot, thinking that their hand is the strongest. So I elect to make the call and see that we are out flopped with the top 2 pair, and we wind up losing this pot of 167, but I am not too upset with the way we played it. Let me know what you guys think about this one down in the comment section. Now we get some action up at the 400 NL. Took a couple shots at the 400 NL. We've actually been doing pretty well so far. Short-handed, only 5 of us being dealt into this pot, and it folds to us on the button, and we are opening to 3x with Queen 10 offsuit. Small blind folds, and big blind makes a call. Big blind is playing short stacked, looks to be a recreational player, and the flop is 8 high rainbow. Big blind checks, and we check back. Don't want to try to be putting in a continuation bluff here against the recreational player. Not the type of player you really want to be bluffing. And the queen of diamonds comes on the turn, giving us top pair. This time, Gotcha Boy leads out for $25.75, essentially betting the pot. That's a big bet, but against the recreational player, I am going to be making this call with just top pair. And the river is another queen, giving us trips. There's $77.50 in the pot. Gotcha Boy's got $122.25, and this time they slow down. Check the river. Let's try to make a bet sizing that we can get a call with. Make it 48 to go. I think we can see a call from a lot of 8s in this spot, or any pair over the 8s that could be in Gotcha Boy's pre-flop calling range. 9s, 10s, maybe jacks, and we do get a call. We don't know what our opponent had, but we wind up taking down this pot of $172 on the runner queens. This one looks like it might get interesting. We have queen 5 offsuit playing from the big blind at the 200 NL table. Short-handed, 6 of us being dealt into this pot. Folds around to the small blind, who puts in a min raise, and I like to just call, being in position, deep stacked. We're both playing over 100 big blinds, and we should be able to realize our positional edge by just making a call of the min raise here. Flop is 2 5s and an 8. We wind up flopping trips. Great flop for us. And the small blind bets 2/3 pot on the flop. 5:02 to go. And we make a call here, not to give away the value of our hand. The turn is a 3 of hearts. Pretty much a complete brick. Once again, the small blind bets 2/3 pot. 11:31. And we just make a call here, putting in a tricky play. But from what we can see, any kind of raise here would get rid of this hand. The only chance we're going to be making more money here is by letting our opponent bluff, which it seems like they are more than happy to do so far. And from experience, I've seen this play many times from this player. And once again, there is a big river bet, firing 3 barrels at us. The only hand that we are really afraid of right here would be something like ace 5 or pocket 8s maybe. This is not a spot where we would expect this player to be putting in a big bluff, but a lot of the draws missed. If he checks back, we might check back with something like ace high here and still wind up taking this pot. So I can understand why you would be putting in this type of bet. I think you can get the same effect from a smaller bet sizing, but hey, go ahead and put in a 2 times pot size bet on the river with jack high when we have trips. We do make the call, not putting in a raise here, because if we put in a raise, we're only going to be getting called by hands that wind up beating us. And we wind up taking down this pot of 192.18 with the trip 5s against the 8 jack high. Interesting hand. And now we're looking at pocket 7s from the small blind at the 200 NL table. Once again, we're playing a little short-handed. Only 6 of us in this one. We get an open from the cutoff, and we make a call here with 7s in the small blind. Big blind comes along, and we see a flop of king high 2-tone. We have middle set. Check the flop, and we get a bet from the big blind, and the cutoff calls here. We just make a call, not to give away the value of our hand quite yet. There are some strong draws out there that we should be wary of. 8 of clubs comes on the turn, completing a couple of the straight draws that could be out there. AG Pro Foam once again bets half pot, and we get a call from Aaron Vega, the player we just got in a hand with. And this time we're putting in a raise. We make it $60 to go. We might see a call from some of the straight draws, possibly some flush draws out there, as well as any king that might be in our opponent's range here. I could see AG Pro Foam or Aaron Vega having a king here. AGP makes a fold, and Aaron Vega comes along. The 3 is a complete brick. We can pretty much assume that Aaron Vega missed any draw that was out there, but has chased this far. If we put in a bet of 128.40, we might get a call from a king putting us on a missed draw. So I do bet the 28.40. From what we saw Aaron Vega do on the last hand, maybe a check on the river would have been a better play here to allow Aaron Vega a chance to put in a big river bluff once again. But we put the bet in, and we wind up getting a fold from Aaron Vega, who probably didn't have a king and probably did have some kind of straight or flush draw. I think a check would have been the play here. Alright, we have pocket aces this time at the 100 NL table. Folds around to us in the hijack seat, and we open to $3. We get a 3-bet from the small blind. It's a min 3-bet, only $2 for us to call here. I doubt we're going to be calling with the aces against a somewhat recreational player. Definitely not. Putting in the 4-bet, making it $15 to go, and we get a call. 31 already 40 in the pot, we have 85 behind. Flop is queen high rainbow, very dry board. The king big D leads out for a third of the pot, and we just call here. Turn is the 7 of clubs, not improving too many hands if our opponent had something like 5-6 suited they got there, which we really can't rule out against a recreational player, but that is only a small portion of this player's range, and once again, they bet on the turn, making it half pot, and I like the way aces play against a recreational player. I could see them making this play with pretty much any queen out there, and with the queens that are going to be 3-betting pre-flop and calling a 4-bet, we are going to be ahead of all of those. With 8 queen or a 7 queen, 4 queen, not going to be in their range very often. So I jam all in, trying to get a call from the king queens, ace queens, queen jacks that could be in the range here. Maybe we can get a call from some of the straight or flush draws that could also be there. And we do get a call from queen jack. We are a heavy favorite right here, 89% to win this hand. And the river is a 9, giving it to us. And we take down this pot of almost $200. Here is another big hand with pocket aces at the 200 NL table. We are playing from the cutoff. Under the gun opens to $4. Just a min raise here. And we're putting in a 3-bet, make it 16 to go. We get a call from Tilt-A-Whirl, who likes to see a lot of flops. Very regular player, solid post-flop player. Tilt-A-Whirl has some interesting pre-flop plays, but does change it up a little bit post-flop and tightens up. You can see 1.8 aggression factor post-flop and pretty small bet percentages post-flop as well. Flop is 10 high, 2-tone, 2 spades out there. We have the backdoor nut flush draw as well as the aces over the board. $35 in the pot right now. Tilt-A-Whirl checks the flop, and we put in a continuation bet here. Only half pot though. This is a pretty draw heavy and somewhat scary board. I could see this exact type of hand being in Tilt-A-Whirl's range, and they jam all in, and we can see right here that Tilt-A-Whirl wins 100% of flop raises or turn raises. So he's only doing this when he knows he's in the lead. It's pretty easy to put us on a hand here since our 3-betting range has a lot of premium hands in it, all of which he is ahead of right here. I think this is a pretty easy fold actually, but I make the call, and when you're not playing on the top of your game, you're going to be making some bad plays. This happens to be one of them. We are a underdog, not a crazy underdog, still 31% to win this hand. Turn is the jack of diamonds, not improving us. We still have a 27% chance. And the river is the deuce of diamonds, missing it for us. And we wind up losing this very large pot. And I think this is one that we definitely should have gotten rid of right here. But we are going to learn from this experience, and we're not going to be making this mistake once again, because we know that Tilt-A-Whirl does play hands like this. It could have been a 9-10, an 8-9, possibly a 7-6, maybe even a jack-queen. If it was a jack-queen, you think we would have seen a smaller raise here. This is one of those bets where he's trying to get rid of the big draws and or getting called with the big hands like aces, kings, queens, maybe jacks in this spot that I would be 3-betting with. Interesting hand, and I think it was definitely a mistake making this call. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button if you have not done that yet. Turn on your notifications if you are subscribed. Head down to the video description for links to all the poker products that I use, including Hold'em Manager, where we are reviewing our poker sessions from today, and America's Card Room, where I do all of my poker playing. Give this video a thumbs up if you learned something today or you are enjoying this content. Be back soon with a new video, but until then, I'll see you guys out on the virtual felt.